Good evening, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, BVon Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection. I am just so excited to be here tonight. I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes for everyone to get on. We have such an amazing message tonight. I am just so thrilled about today's message. If you are new, I want to first start off by saying, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are so welcome here. This is a safe place. And if you are returning, I want to say thank you so much for your love and support. You know, I could not do this without you. I am so honored to be your coach. Thank you. Okay, so yesterday all week for the most part I have been just like praying and meditating and asking God, what would I share about on this Willingness Wednesday? We need a new series, God. What's it going to be all about? And so as I was meditating yesterday, and I was beginning to think about fall and the trees and how the leaves are going to begin to fall off of the trees. And I started thinking about how that correlates to me in my own personal life, and how sometimes it's necessary to let those things that no longer serve me fall off, right? Like the trees do. They spend their time growing leaves, right? All their energy going into growing those leaves. Then they get to experience the harvest and the abundance of all those leaves all over their branches, blowing in the wind. Ooh, look at me, I'm a big old tree, I got lots of leaves. Woo, look at me, I'm a big old tree. And then they're asked to let go of those leaves that they so lovingly produced on their branches. But it's okay, because they know the season is going to come back around again and they're going to be able to have leaves again. I thought about that, and I thought how brave those trees must be able to trust God, to know that if they let go of those leaves, they're going to have more leaves coming. This isn't the end of their leaf story. So, as I was thinking about that, God was showing me how important it is for us to understand what season we are in, what spiritual season we are in. Because for everything, there is a season, a time for every activity under the heavens. So, what that means to me, I think about that and I say, well, I'm not going to go running outside in my bathing suit in the winter time, right? You're not going to catch me out there, hanging out in a coat, a fur coat in the summertime. I don't care how much I love that fur coat. I'm not going to be hanging out in it in the summertime, right? So there are different activities that we do based on what season it is. Swimming in the summer, skiing in the winter, barbecuing and hanging out with friends, listening for the sound for the ice cream truck in the neighborhood in the summer. There were just different things that marked those seasons for us. And just like there are certain things that mark those seasons for us in our natural seasons, right? There are also things that mark the seasons for us in our spiritual seasons. So, as we continue to move forward here, I want to talk about the different seasons. Now, of course, this is a series, and we're not going to talk about everything tonight. Tonight is an overview of the series that we're going to continue for the next couple of weeks. So, I want to talk to you about the winter, right? Winter correlates to the wilderness season, not because it's winter, but because of the characteristics of winter. Now, most mammals, most animals are actually hibernating in the wintertime, right? They know it's a time to pull back. It's a time to conserve our energy. The days are shorter, the nights are longer, which means we don't work as much and we rest a little bit more. During the wilderness season, these are the times where we're going to have some challenges. I first need to tell you this, and this is no joke, okay? This is no joke. Pain is inevitable. Anytime we are asked to let go of one thought process for another process, we may have some challenges with that. That may cause us some internal pain, but that's okay. Suffering is what is optional. The pain is going to be there, but the suffering is optional. And the reason I say that is because during the moving, transitioning from one season to the next season, you're going to have to know to let go, not to hold on. But by nature, we hold on to everything because we're so afraid to let go because we're afraid we're not going to get it again. Or we're so afraid to let go because we don't know what's going to be able to replace that. We get so comfortable in all our little warm, fuzzy, routines. We don't want to let go of that. When things happen in our lives and we hold on longer than we should, there's going to be pain. There's going to be suffering, is what I meant to say, because there's always going to be pain. But the suffering is up to us. Okay. We get to decide whether we suffer or not. All right, so as I move forward, we're going to continue to talk about the wilderness season. This is a time for reflection. This is a time for introspection. This is a time for drawing close to the Creator, right? That's what this whole time is about, so that He can strip away things that we don't need, so He can prepare us to move forward into the spring, which is the growing season, right? The growing season. Now, this season has its own challenges, just like any spring in the natural world, right? You're going to have bees. Oh, those pesky little bees. And hopefully you're not allergic, because that presents a challenge of its own, right? So just like in nature, each season has its own challenges. Each season has its own fun times and blessings. The same with the spiritual seasons. Each spiritual season has its own set of challenges that go along with it, right? Suppose you don't want to be introspective, but it is necessary. In the springtime, suppose you're not ready to move forward and start growing, but that's the growing season, right? This is the season where God is going to stretch you. Ooh, He's going to stretch you so He can show you what you are made of. He already knows what He created you to be. He already knows the purpose that He has assigned for your life. He needs you to know and to start moving forward. And so He's going to put you in positions where you can start new things, buy a new house, get a new job, get a new relationship. All the new things start happening in the spring season, in the growing season. Now, I don't want you to think that each spiritual season is coinciding with the natural four seasons. I'm just putting them together so you understand how the characteristics go together, because I was thinking to myself, which one of these should I start with? And I wanted to start with the harvest season, but that's now. And I didn't want you to think that because I'm starting with the harvest season that it had anything to do with fall or autumn, right? Which is where we are. The fall harvest season is where you are going to reap the benefits of the seeds that you planted in the springtime, right? Okay, so as you move into summer, right? We want to know that summer is the time where you're going to be resting and rejuvenating, playing, and just kind of like, oh, yay, everything is wonderful, everything is great. But we have to remember that autumn and fall will soon be coming. But I want to also let you know is that if you don't get something in the season that it's while it's being presented to you, it's okay. Because just as the seasons in nature have a secular motion, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. Our spiritual seasons also have this type of a secular motion, right? What I mean by that is you're not going to be able to bring summer in when it's fall season. You're not going to be able to exchange winter for spring. None of that's going to be able to happen because everything is meant in its own way. Everything in God's in God's timing, in God's order, right? What I want you to understand is that because you are spiritual in nature, that your essence, the essence of who you are, is spiritual in nature. And so you have to understand the spiritual seasons so you know what's going on with your spirit. Now, have you ever, now listen, this is really cool because this happened to me. I want to know if it happens to you too. Do you ever find yourself like a shift has happened and say, whoa, you notice something's going on, but you're not quite sure what? You notice that there's some conflicts going on and you don't know how those conflicts started or when they started or why they started. They just happen. Well, this is called the pruning season. This is the time, and oh, this is the worst. In my opinion, this has got to be the worst one, because it's so hard to let go of people that no longer serve our highest good. I don't want to make it sound like people serve us. No, we have a purpose that God has created us for. And there were certain things, people, places, things that are attached to our purpose. Now, there's nothing saying that these people, places, and things are going to be attached to us for a lifetime. Maybe it's just for a season. You ever heard that? For a reason, season, or lifetime? Most things are just for seasons, because there's seasons in everything. Seasons in our relationships, seasons in marriages, even there's seasons in their fiscal seasons and in businesses. Seasons always come and they always go, and we have to learn that we need to allow those seasons to come and go in our lives just as they do in nature. Now, that tree that let go of all those leaves, I doubt it's in pain. I doubt it's suffering, because it has no attachment to the leaves. Only we have those attachments that we create for ourselves, those things that cause us, that allow us to have comfort, those things that help us, to get to where we're trying to go, and also those things that don't serve us anymore. And so that's the pruning season. And as we continue to move forward, I just want you to know that no matter what the season is, God is already there. He's already in that season. He's already prepared that season for you. He's already prepared the lessons, the blessings. They're all there for you. All you have to do is move through the season, that trusting that all will be well, and trusting that God has your back, that no matter what it is you need, you will be provided for it. No matter what happens, you are protected. You just need to know these things, because we as human beings have a lot of fearful and limiting thought processes that prevent us from getting God's best. His best is always available to us, but because we are afraid to let go, because we are afraid of what's coming next or what's not going to happen next, we have a difficulty moving through our seasons. Now, I think that next week when we come back, I want to move into talking about the growing season, because I think it sounds cool. I think that sounds wonderful. The growing season, where God is going to stretch us, where God is going to give us all kinds of opportunities to move forward. I believe that's the season that I'm in. And so that's the season I want to talk about. I have all kinds of great ideas. You see, this happened to me a few months ago. I thought I was in the growing season. I'm ready to go. Let's go, God. Let's go, God. Let's move, move, move. And he's like, nope. And everything I tried, skirt, he shut it down. Every direction I went, he shut it down. Every door I thought was open, he closed it. And I was like, what the heck is really going on here? Like, why, God? Why? What's going on? What are you trying to show me? And he took me into a wilderness season. And in that season, I was able to let go of people that no longer served my purpose, my highest good. I was also able to let God redirect me into a new direction. And it was so amazing that I actually felt it happening. I felt the shift happening. And then I just went to God and asked him, and he showed me that he was redirecting me into a new path, into a new way of thinking, into some new opportunity. Because, see, before I went into the wilderness season, I was thinking of a total different project, right? But as I went through the wilderness season, as I came out of that wilderness season, I was not the same person. I had a different perspective about where God wanted me to go. He, in that wilderness, during that time that I was seeking Him and, feeling alone, feeling like I was just by myself. God, where are you? What are you doing? Why won't you listen to me? Why can't I hear from you? But during that time, I didn't realize it, but He was working on me. He was working on me. And what He showed me is the multi dimensional personal development plan. Because, see, I was thinking of it in just about the mind or just about the body or just about the spirit. But God was like, no, I want you to take people forward as a whole, total, multi dimensional being. Boom, blew my mind, just blew my mind. And so that's where all of this multidimensional spiritual being comes from. It came out of my wilderness season. God gave that to me for us. And that is so amazing. And I'm so happy to be able to share that with you today. And so I think that's going to wrap it up for me. I've been so caught up in talking to you, I forgot to tell you that I can help you with all of this if you just call me at 317-721-4315, or you can email me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com. And I can help you sort through all of this. I can help you find out what season you're actually in. I encourage you, right, to come back next week so we can talk about the growing season so that I can help you identify if that's your season and then help you navigate through it so that you can get to the other side of your growing season. I look forward to seeing you again next week. I just thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for allowing me to be your coach. Thank you for allowing me to share my experience, strength, and a hope with you today. It is so amazing to get on here each week and talk to you because I think about you all week long. All week long, I'm asking God to give me what He wants me to share with you, and then I share it with you as authentically as I can. And I just thank you so much for receiving me with all the love, all the text messages, all the DMs, all of the comments. Just makes me feel so wonderful, and I'm just so happy to be here. And with that, I guess I'll say good night, and I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask God to bless you real good. And I tell you what, if you are doing your manifesting and if you are doing your affirmations, I tell you, whatever that thing that you are hoping for is on its way to you now. I love you, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye bye.